Welcome into a special edition of Buff Stampede Radio. I'm Adam Munsterteiger, the publisher of BuffStampede.com. Joined by forever Buff Parker Orms, played at CU from 2009 to 2013. And in July, Parker fitted some CU players with cowboy hats for the O-line versus D-line wing eating competition. Parker, it's going to be fun to catch up with you, my friend. How is life treating you these days?
Oh man, it's going great. I'm excited for this CU football season to start up. I'm actually going to be an official sponsor this year, so I'm going to be popping up at some football games. And I just always loved University of Colorado, man. I've always been a Buff. It's been in my family for my whole life, and just to continue to work with them is a great opportunity. But yeah, life's good, man. I've been ever since I got done playing football, I've been making hats. So it's been a good 10 years almost since I've been out of the game, and I almost treat this hat business as a company, is like almost like playing a sport.
That's awesome. I want to ask you a lot about your business. I am curious though, because it was right after your CU career ended. I remember Ryan Koenigsberg and I were able to sit down with you at the Blake Street Tavern. We did a fun podcast then. That was about a decade ago now. I'm curious, now, a decade later, what continues to stand out when you think back to your days playing as a defensive back with the Buffaloes?
Man, just like going through so much adversity through those seasons when I played at University of Colorado, and having those highs and a lot of lows. We were playing there, just because we could never, get past that hump to make a bowl game and stuff like that. And I just think about how much preparation went into playing every year, every season. I either had an injury or we didn't finish some of those games that I thought we could have won. I always think back at those times about with my business, about when things aren't going right, even though I prepared the best I could, just how I can get up the next day and still, put my hat on, just like putting on a helmet and going out there and giving it my best.
What were the good memories you think back to from CU?
Oh man, I really I always look forward still to that CU-CSU rivalry, Mile High Showdown. I always think about that, and I just am so excited. I can't make, a lot of games because of work, but I always mark that on my calendar as that's my day off. I'm going to go and I'm going to that game. And, I wish it was still at Mile High Stadium. I always thought that was fun playing at that mutual location, but I think the last time I went to a CSU game, I was actually getting recruited by CSU, and I, went up there and had an unofficial visit and went to a CSU game, but always wanted to be a Buff, and so I'm glad I got to play for the Buffs, and I can't wait to go back. I'm going to go up to the game up in Fort Collins this year. It'll be the first time I've been back there since that recruiting visit. But yeah, I have a lot of good memories of CU. It was just not a better college football town than Boulder. And every time I'm up there, I can just remember walking, through campus. And then anytime I'm around, the Dow Ward's changed and all that, but still going back over there and seeing the flat irons at the stadium and just being able to say I played on that field and running out before Ralphie. I'm doing some stuff with the Ralphie runners. I'm actually going up there today to clean up their hats, shape them a little bit, and do some branding their initials on the hats.
That's awesome. Yeah, that game up at CSU in their new stadium is going to be crazy. I hope they get some extra. They beef up security a little bit, because I think after last year's game, tensions aren't going to be running high in that stadium. That should be a night to remember. One of the things I remember from that interview with you like a decade ago is you said Utah had the most hostile fans that you went up against in college. if memory serves, it was something like they were pouring chocolate milk on players or something like that.
Oh man, yeah, I remember Brady Day at the end of the game was cut. We were wearing white jerseys, and he had just all these chocolate milk all over him, and we were wondering how that happened, but I guess he said somebody just launched it off at him out of the stands at him. And yeah,
Jeez.
I got that one. I got that one marked down on the calendar too this year. Actually, that's going to be hopefully one of the games that I'll be popping up with my booth selling hats at.
Awesome. For the newer CU fans that didn't get an opportunity to watch you play for the Buffs, Parker had 157 tackles over 3 seasons at CU. That was coming back off a torn ACL, which unfortunately happened just 3 plays into Parker's college career. Are there some guys at CU that you played with that you still keep in touch with?
Oh yeah, I keep contact with a lot of those guys through social media. And what's also been cool is with this company, a lot of guys have came by and supported me by coming by and getting a hat. So we get to catch up, and I just I love seeing them every time they walk through the doors. Sometimes their name will pop up on my appointments. So if you go to my website, you can book an appointment, and I'll see their name pop up, and then we'll message each other, and can't wait to see them come in and just catch up by making a hat. It's really a cool experience when you're getting a hat made. I need to make you one just because you sit down and I serve some alcohol, so I'll have some beers, and we'll catch up over a beer and getting a hat made. And I love homecoming week too. A lot of those times it's a good time to catch up with everybody at the game.
That's awesome. Are you still pretty close to the Wheat Ridge community?
Yeah, I actually moved back to Wheat Ridge for a long time, back at my mom's spot, just helping her out. She always had roommates when I was in college, so when I got back, um, I ended up just moving back in with her for a while, and it really helped me out getting my business started. And I really want to get into maybe coaching at Wheat Ridge someday. That'd be a dream of mine. My brother and I talk about that, how we can get back in, and support the farmers.
That's awesome. And again, for the folks that aren't familiar with the legend of Parker Orms there at Wheat Ridge, he led him to a state championship, had 412 all-purpose yards in the title game, of course, scoring the game-winning 56-yard touchdown on 4th and 2 with 19 seconds left in the game. I hope that you still have that legend status around there.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of changes, it's crazy how fast time flies by. But my mom still subs. She's a substitute teacher there at Wheat Ridge. And um sadly, like a lot of the coaches that coach there now are retired. So it's
Yeah.
a lot has changed. But you know, Wheat Ridge is always gonna be just a huge part of me. And yeah, that state championship game for sure. A lot of people know me as the hat guy now. It's pretty crazy that it kind of changed. Like, oh, you're the hat guy. You're the hat guy. When it for a long time it was me, that guy who scored the game-winning touchdown at Wheat Ridge.
Well, it's pretty awesome. You've kind of reinvented yourself, right? You're a legend in a different space now. That's
Right.
pretty rare to have that in
I
multiple
know.
areas. So you should be proud of that. Yeah, our paths have crossed just a couple times since your playing days at CU. I didn't realize you were creating custom cowboy hats until Coach Prime's oldest daughter, Deandra, stopped by your store and included you on one of her videos, and she was getting fitted for a hat for I think one of her first games in Boulder last year. Was that your kind of introduction to this new staff in Boulder?
Yeah, actually it was this guy, one of the coaches, Coach Pollock, up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
He was one of the first coaches to come by and get a hat. I did get a chance to go to a right when Coach Prime came in, they had a little booster event where I went up, and I got to meet Coach Prime, and I told him, man, I need to make you a cowboy hat. I'd love to make you one. And he kind of he's a busy guy, so he's kind of like man, my assistant coach actually is really looking for a hat. So Coach Hart actually was the first one to come by, and then Coach Pollock came by. And then after making those hats, I reached out to see what I could do with NIL and all that. And, Mata came by and a couple other players, made them some hats. And then, funny story about Deandra, actually, when I was first making hats, this is way before the thought of Coach Prime ever coming to Boulder. I DM'd her and said, man, I'd love to make you a hat. She was wearing hats at the time. And then, years later, I got on her radar finally and made her a hat before I forgot which football game. I think it was the USC game last year.
Well, tell us a little bit more about Hats by Parker Thomas, how it began, how it built, and you talked about some of the projects you have coming up. But what are kind of your hopes for the future? A lot to dive in there. I'm just kind of curious, the journey you've been on with Hats by Parker Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was actually right before my last season. I got to play my last football season in Milan, Italy, overseas. But my dad had gotten back into the hat game, hat shaping, and that's when first time I actually had seen him do shape a hat, and it was with my grandpa at the National Western Stock Show, and it was right before I left for Milan, and I thought it was really cool. Right away, I kind of thought, man, when football's done, I really want to get into this and work with my dad and grandpa, which my dad's from Texas. It's funny, my mom's side of the family, they're from Colorado, and they were more of a football family than my dad's family was more in the Western industry. So I got to kind of, jump more into my dad's side of things. Those roots of, the cowboy culture. And I took a hat that I made with my dad and grandpa over to Italy and wore that hat all around, and people always commented on it. I remember going down to where the big mall is next to the church in Milan, and there was a company called Borsellino Hat Company that I really liked. I found a hat in my mom's basement actually that was a Borsellino hat. And that Borsellino hat shop was right next to Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all those companies. So I was like, man, this hat thing could really be big one day. Hopefully for me. And it ended up really working out. Right when I got back from playing football, I started my own company, just doing pop-ups and stuff like that, selling hats to mostly family and friends. And then, just slowly kept growing and worked with my dad. My dad owns a hat shop. It's called the Cow Lot. And I worked with him for a long time before I really just took off with my company.
That's awesome. And where has it kind of grown to now? Do you have like a permanent store, or is it still more pop-ups?
Yeah, so I have a hat shop that's in a women's boutique in Cherry Creek. It's a really nice space, downtown Cherry Creek, and people can book appointments. You can book private parties, or we do take walk-ins as well. I also got a couple things in the works where maybe down on Larimer Square, my buddy's opening up a speakeasy, and I might have a little hat lounge in there, selling hats there down in Larimer Square, which would be awesome. And then I'm really working on my first personal brick and mortar with my name on the outside on Tennyson, and it's going to be called American Lore by Parker Thomas, and it's going to be really really a cool spot where it's a whiskey bar hat shop, and we'll serve cocktails and you can get a hat made.
Awesome. So you fitted some CU linemen in July for a wing eating contest. How many guys did you fit a hat for?
We fit 8 guys for that, 4 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen. And I actually joined in on that wing eating contest as well. It was pretty fun. And we're going to be actually the finals. It's going to be at Chicken Fight. I guess I made it into the finals. I ate enough wings for that.
How many wings did you eat? to get into the
I felt
finals.
like I ate like 50, but I only got like 12, I think, or so. They were some pretty big wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who won between the CU offensive lineman and the defensive lineman in that
Oh,
contest?
defense took them down.
That's
Pretty cool.
awesome.
And the guys that actually own that bar number 38 where the winging contest was at, they're actually going to be partners with me on this new venture in Tennessee.
Oh, very
So
cool. That's
cool.
awesome. And so
Yeah.
you're heading up to hook up the Ralphie handlers, you said today.
Yeah. Last year I got to do the same thing. That was one of the, first times I really did something big with CU. And they actually promoted me on their social media and stuff. But I went up there and shaped their hats on top of the stadium there. Um, at that new Champion Center. So that was really cool. And we'll see where we pop up today. It's kind of cool with my steamer and with my company. Um, I travel around and can pop up really anywhere. So I've traveled all the way to Florida in a box truck with hats and sold at a Yellowstone theme party for New Year's Eve. And I'm actually going to go back there again this year.
What's your favorite part of this gig? What kind of inspires you to continue to grow your business?
Man, I really like interacting with customers. Like I like to be involved with customer service and making sure people have a great experience. And I get to meet people from all over the world. They come to get a hat made by me because they saw me on social media, and that's really just really cool when they come in and they've been watching me or following me for a while, and they finally get the chance to make a hat. And usually it's for like a special occasion, like a wedding, a lot of wedding hats, or birthdays. And I really just enjoy that part of it. And yeah, like I get to make hats for some celebrities now. I just made a hat for Kevin Hart and his wife Aniko.
Wow.
Yeah, they posted me on their social media. It was really cool. And Aaron Gordon has been huge for me too. He might, hopefully cross my fingers, might jump in on helping me on this new venture at Tennyson too, help funding some build out and stuff. So yeah, the celebrity thing is really cool, but I think just like anybody, we treat like a celebrity when they come in and get a hat made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you have gotten a chance to make some hats for some former teammates. When you talk to those guys and you kind of discuss what's happening in Boulder now, what's it been like for you former Buffs, forever Buffs, I should say, that just kind of seeing that the program that you played for get all this national attention that it has since Coach Prime arrived in Boulder?
Yeah. I think everybody's pumped on it. Like uh we love see you on the map, and you know, we're really just rooting for him. We just have been in that locker room before where last year, just feeling the feeling of winning the first three games, and everyone's really pumped on the season, can't wait to just keep winning. And then when you start losing again, it sucks. So like we just can still feel for those guys, even with Coach Prime there, that it's just not going to be easy. You still just gotta figure out how to get out of that slump of winning and then losing. You got to just keep winning, man. And it was really cool for me that year when Philip Lindsay and all those guys made it to that championship game, Pac-12 championship, and
Yeah,
those guys felt like little brothers to me. So I was kind of bittersweet. I wish I was on that team that made it that far, but to see my brothers make it was really cool. And I hope these guys know that we're all supporting them, and we really just want to see them win. And like for me with this hat thing, I own my own business. I love that I get to become a sponsor now, and I want to just be getting more involved and be a part of the Buff Club and all that stuff, and just know like I'm going to support them during the season and after the season, and then after their career. We're all just a brotherhood.
that's great, Parker. Yeah, you're a Colorado guy through and through, and it's great to see you thriving and doing so well. after your playing career, but still having that passion for the Buffs. That's really cool to see it. Thanks for taking the time out to share your story with your business, and best of luck going forward. It sounds like things are starting to take off for you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I can't wait to make you a hat.
I
Next
can't
time I'll
wait.
have
I
it.
can't wait. I will definitely
Yep.
do that. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Parker. And
Yep,
thanks
thank
everybody
you.
out. Yep. Thanks everybody out there for tuning in.